Sagittarius, welcome back. We're here to do your zodiac sign for the month of June 2023. Now, if you do like this content, remember to come through and see it next month. And if you do need a reading, all the information is directly below. Now, the way this video is going to be set out is we're going to give you a brief overview astrologically and how these moon phases this month will affect you, as well as any must-know transits into love for singles and couples, your career, business and or study, wealth and wellness, and anything else psychically I see for your zodiac sign. Now into the updates with the must know 5 things that are happening this month. Now, number 1, we do have Saturn moving retrograde in the house of Pisces on the 17th of June 2023. Pluto also will ingress back into Capricorn on the 11th of June. Neptune will join Saturn in its retrograde motion from the 30th, and Venus on the 5th will enter Leo. Now, see this area. Note these areas I mentioned for your zodiac sign, because what we will find is Venus next month will be going retrograde. Now, the key areas for you surrounding these 5 areas and what tips I have for you are as follows. With Saturn moving retrograde, it can be a really great time to reflect, okay? It's about going inside, reworking the structures, the systems, where you can and can't take accountability, and really reviewing, what you feel directly is in sync with you. As Neptune moves retrograde further into the month, we can have some real revelations to do with what is and what isn't hot anymore. That can be, is the buck worth the grind, is the dream worth, the energy, and really sometimes we can find when Neptune goes retrograde, we have a revelation to do with solutions in the mix. And sometimes we can feel ever so silly. So don't be hard on yourself with these placements. Pluto, as it does move back into Capricorn, you can really be reworking financial situations. This can be talking with old bosses, superiors, employers. It can be paperwork. You also can be reviewing your wealth in this area, and you may need to replace some key assets in your home. This could be anything down to white goods and things to that degree. The other thing is, whatever that worth value networking energy is for you, it's going to come back on the table for a renegotiation, a retweak. If you did find you were overzealous and you had left a situation a few months ago, it could be that you feel you want to return to such. Now, with Venus in the house of Leo, this can be to do with trade, travel, education, upskilling. You're also going to be looking at your siblings in a very different light. But I do see where it does come to love in general and your spiritual beliefs, you're going to be more bold where it does come to this. I also feel things surrounding home and family, you can feel a little bit disillusioned. This can come down to, as Pluto moves back into Capricorn, there can be some paperwork relating to this, but I do feel you can have clues. Try to be open. Changes within accommodation and location, or changes in your family also are very possible. Now, let's take a look at how these moons for this month are going to play out for your zodiac and into your romance house. Now, the first moon we have is in your zodiac sign, and I always call this the Emperor's New Clothes. It always feels as though we are changing our look, we're changing our status, how people see us. There's something coming to a head here. Now, this can link to your values, your culture, your beliefs, anything to do with trade, foreign travel, siblings, upskilling, and guru energies. Now, the full moon occurs on the 4th. And I would definitely say with the moon, it could be something to do with mothering, parenthood, also an inner child energy. So pay attention to that as the tip. But this is personal. This is something emotionally changing within you. So pay attention to the signs during this time. This also could be Lady Luck coming through and actually blessing you with a brand new chapter in your life. Sometimes we don't necessarily see it that way, and it can feel like the carpet's ripped out from under us, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen that way. Sometimes it's that we change overnight and people actually can come back towards us and show us a deep gratitude and appreciation, but there is a potential of it being quite emotional. Now, also on the new moon energy, it falls on the house of Gemini on the 18th of June 2023. At a collective level, this can be to do with the changes in our routine. It can be changes in social media, our thought patterns and conversations, but there could be a big conversation. This could be linking to your marriages, contracts, and partnerships. If you're currently in a relationship and it's coming to a head, for some of you could say left or right. Others can put new lease of life in this department, especially if there was tension last month due to Mercury retrograde. Let's have a look at your romance zone of what I see coming through for the entirety of the month. Pocket by pocket, I would say the first 2 weeks can be very different to last month. Let's just make that perfectly clear. Last month was hectic. It was full on. It was probably one of the worst months of the year when you look at it, but it's going to be the most positive in a signature when it does come down to how much change we've had to go through to liberate ourselves. So it was for a reason. Change never feels good. You may have really found yourself going down a rabbit hole. And this month, in typical Jupiter style, you're going to be really looking at really making your time count. Your time is money. Your life is money, where you can do things. I would say be careful with overindulgence, I would say, because Jupiter at the moment is transiting your 6th house. For me personally, as I had Jupiter transiting that area, I did find that with my Empress body, yes, wellness situations come up. So there definitely could be a change that you are noticing in your body. It can be aches and pains. It can be also really working hard so that one day you can retire. But from a romantic point of view, there could be this feeling of give and take that is necessary within connections. Now, I do particularly feel last month was pretty hard, especially with crosswise as a potential inside your zodiac sign. And I do think, you know, by the end of the month, you were really calming down, maybe feeling a little bit run down. So as we do move into June, for you at an individual level, linking to romance, Lady Luck can be coming on your side. This can be meeting people at a gym. This can be hearing from people through social media. You also may find that you bump into individuals with family, friends, or siblings. I do feel particularly some of you, if you are wanting to have a holiday, there could be a mini getaway that you are going to encounter to refreshen you up. I also do feel there could be a person that you are attracted to that is from opposite sides of the track or a foreign culture. As we proceed forward to the middle of the month, there is a potential blast from the past coming back, and that's really going to linger much into the following month. I do particularly feel you can be reworking some things and you can see the value a little bit more so inside these circumstances. But emotions can be quite high as we do reach the new moon in Gemini, so pay attention to that. The other area I would say is you're really looking at where things are going. And I think that you are going to want some, you know, sometimes we say that we want somebody who's like-minded. Other times it can be that, you know, do they misunderstand us? Can we be ourselves and they be themselves? And it's still physically work. I do really feel so. And I feel if you can go into it with that attitude and accept who you are and be open to it, I do feel you're going to be quite social this month as well. Those of you that are in a coupledom, I do particularly feel there is a possibility of changes where it does come to your daily routine at home. There could have been a swapping of roles in the connection for some given reason. I do feel it's balancing out, and I definitely feel the notion of romance, you know, maybe to a degree you feel it had to go on the back burner because of external things, but I do feel passion is going to be running high and it's going to increase as we do move into the following month. I also feel there is an opportunity for an emotional reconnection back to where you used to be, back to where you wanted things to be. For some of you, if you do feel you're not seeing eye to eye, things can actually spike by mid-month, especially as we do move into the middle of the month. I also see potentials of changes surrounding family, siblings, mother. And some of you could be really having big discussions about this. This could be your family, their family, differences of opinions, differences of needs, trying to get routines in order, trying to be patient through this can be a little bit testing. But I definitely see if there's some dreams that you're trying to move towards, you're going to find the balance for such. But you also should keep some of that really as a time frame, being realistic with the time frames, but also being open and honest with one another. Now, your career sector does appear to be having some ironing out of paperwork, and there could be a renegotiation. Some of you also could be thinking about going back to a position, going back to a previous employer. I also feel there is a potential that you could be critically looking at things. If things got quite messy at a point, you can find as we do move into the month of June, they start ironing out, but you may need to be quite patient, and you do really have an eye for detail. So try to be patient with yourself, maybe delegate some of those tasks over to other individuals. Those of you that are wanting to upskill, you can actually find that you do have the gift of the gab where it comes to either mentoring people. So it could be that you're educating other people and taking a superior role on. You also could be around people that are from a multicultural connection within your place of employment. I also see advertising being quite positive by mid-month and beyond, probably from the 5th and beyond, I would say. Brushing up of websites, brushing up of your resume. Definitely see there's a potential for growth, and some of you could be doing some training, be it for others or self. Now, where it does come to your wealth, I would say hold a little bit back in the kitty before next month. So try and put some of that in reserve, because there is going to be some changes happening, and it is going to come through your creativity. And I definitely feel if you can be creative, there is going to be a different way that some of you can, in a side hustle, actually generate an income. I do particularly feel that there could be some added expenses that can be quite large. And I would say be cautious with getting into conflicts, especially, always seek professional advice, especially if there's something quite drama-filled going on, either relating to your wages or a dispute of some description. I would say really being quite careful with that. I would also say keeping some back for your wellness. There could be a lot of comings and goings. This could be a lot of travel that you're actually dealing with, and there could be an unexpected surprise where it does come to home. Now, your wellness mid-month is the caution zone. I also do feel pretty much for the next year, you're going to find that there can be an increased energy put into creativity, but you also may find that your wellness is key. So this can be, going to coaches. It could be something very, very separate. The 6th house can be very educational, where it does come to you actually getting into a structured routine, getting a good budget down, having revelations of time management. You could be wanting to buy a pet, doing things also spiritually that are holistically very good for you, and also getting checkups. And, if something's been lingering for a long time, this would be the time to really pay attention to it. Overindulgence also for this position is going to be an interesting one for you. So there is a possibility of overindulgence due to the position of Jupiter and Taurus, but it also could make you like the finer things in life, good quality food, good quality green food, pacifiers. So pay attention to any excessive energy and try to keep a routine, but always treat yourself. Don't ever feel that you can't be yourself. Definitely, if you're happy with the way things are, fantastic. But this definitely is some of the aspects I see both psychically and astrologically. I would also say highly advise making sure you're maintaining your fluid content. You could particularly also take things personal in association to tribe and family. So try to not personalize things. If you're getting heated, really having the red traffic lights, stepping back, taking a moment for self, and then moving back into it. But I definitely feel if you had the worry wart energy, hydrating yourself, using psychic protective crystals, but also being open to the new chapter. The best is yet to come. Now, the key points in your life can be sudden changes. And I think at the moment you could be almost at that fed up stage, but don't worry, it's going to get better. I do think you're going to have some breakthroughs, and I think you need to be open for those things. If there is the change of heart with anything that you're dealing with this month, this may be the eye after the storm that you get to actually have a look at where you're going and what you want. I do feel you have some bold plans, but I feel over the years you have become extremely realistic with how to address it. Try to be patient during the moon phases this month. They're directly impacting you in both transformative but ultimately positive ways. Love and light, if you do want these predictions month by month, come through and join. Otherwise, I will see you on the other side. And yes, we cover bookings on the website. So information below. Take care, beautifuls. I wish you the very best.